All right, thank you all for joining us for another round of Imminent Peril, the creatively chaotic role-playing, storytelling, survival, all kinds of things game. I am Aaron Lanowitz, the creator of Imminent Peril. Joining me today, I have a couple of my friends and guests. Please introduce yourselves.
I don't know which one I am, but I'll go ahead. You said me first, so I'll start it because you put the me first on me.
It's true. It's true.
Hi, I'm MK Gibson, author of the Technomancer series, the Shadowmaster series, and I'm one half of the art team that helped redesign this for AA Ron and Andrel. So
groovy. I'm Scott. I am apparently just the random guy who joined you at Gen Cons, and that's what I'm going to continue to be every time we do this.
Official title.
But I enjoy this game, and I'm trying to get others to play. So, there you go.
And I am James, and I am Scott's others to play.
his plus one.
Here we go.
It just leaves me.
Creator.
End of
All right, good talk. Yeah. There it is. You just and me.
And
All right.
me.
All right, so we are starting in an upside-down Kingdom of Camelot, inhabited by Psychokinetic Carnivorous Plants. All right, so again, upside-down Kingdom of Camelot, carnivorous... Psychokinetic Carnivorous Plants.
So they can move things with their mind, is where we are?
Yeah, they don't... I mean, that makes sense. What are they going to do? They're plants. They have to bring their food to them.
Well, I mean, they could probably reach, but no, that actually works out. All right, I've got an idea how to mesh this together.
Go ahead.
All right, so because it's the Kingdom of Camelot, we've got Morgana Le Fay, the Queen, Merlin's nemesis, all these other things. So what if she cast a spell on Camelot, turned it upside down, literally brought the fairy world into the real world, and now all the green growing things are trying to eat the people, the peasants, the land of Camelot, and we could either be travelers, strangers from a strange land, people. You could be a knight, you could be a peasant, or you could be whatever you want to be.
Yeah. You when it comes time to put ourselves into the story,
Basically, like an
You
evil
have writer's
spell.
freedom.
An evil spell by Morgana Le Fay kind of works us all together narratively.
Well, and I kind of thought about the psychokinetic carnivorous plants of them being kind of like mermaids, like where their siren song is what draws people near.
Okay.
So they sort of
So it's
have
like a
that-
mental draw.
a mental, like we find ourselves drawn to these plants and we don't know why, and it's the psychokinetic nature of them.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that.
Upside down, are we going just metaphorical, or is the
I
castle
like the idea
all
that
the
the world
contents are
shifted and
stuck
we're
to
dealing with it. No, I like it that it's like
Okay.
there's a
the Fey
invisible
world
ground.
has
Yeah.
just taken
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to think of like the entire castle of Camelot is like just on the very tip of that one spire, and everything's literally just upside down with that whole thing. But otherwise, gravity's still gravity. It's just shitter flows the wrong direction.
The stuff looks glued.
It's
to
just
the...
Australia. Yeah. It's
Yeah, that's my vision of it, at least.
All right. Well, we gotta be on the same page. So it's both of those things now. It is the Fey worlds transposed with ours.
Well, I imagine all the that's why we have I assume there'll be more trees and more plants invading this world from the fairy world. That way you have something to grab onto is when gravity flips itself. And
Well, what if when things went upside down, it's not like things are invading, but things have suddenly overlapped. Like what the Fae
it's like two worlds on top of each other, and it kind of
So now everything is already covered in super deep. rush
like Kujdu, or however you pronounce it. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Andrel, James, you guys got anything you want to add more details to put more into the story?
I want to go with the idea that while the two worlds are kind of juxtaposed, the gravities are actually fighting each other. So every so often,
Oh, I like that.
Hollow Earth kind of thing, so you can kind of jump from one point to the other in the spiral doodle kind of way.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So gravity's gravity's wonky, and that's why the plants develop their psychokinetic-y stuff. So that's why they have to bring stuff to them. They have to lure it, because if they don't, it's on the ceiling.
They'll be very hungry.
And James?
I have no input.
That's okay. We'll get your wheels turning shortly.
Let me get you a participation trophy.
What I'm here for.
All right, so next up, we've developed kind of the world that's surrounding us, but we have to insert ourselves as characters that have been here all along. So, it's not like you yourself have suddenly just been teleported in.
Unless you want to be.
That could be, but it's more like pick pick a character and just like make up how you've been part of this world up until this moment the whole time.
I'm the medieval botanist, so I'm here like
Evil
taking
button.
So just tending to the plants. It's my job to keep these plants, which are carnivorous, but who's to say they're not like decorative as well?
In that case, I'm going to be Camelot's gardener extraordinaire, and as soon as this happened, my jaw is just like, my face goes white, like I'm pale looking at all the stuff that's now my responsibility to try to clear out.
Okay.
Or at least maintain in some attractive fashion.
Anyone
Andrew,
else?
Gibby, what do you got?
I want to be an Arthurian knight, but the worst one. I'll be Sir Audrey the Randy, the knight who spends far too much time in the House of Ill Reputes. I've been on probation many a time, and now I am. I was in the whorehouse when I shouldn't have been, and things have flipped.
It's at least nicer than the horse stable.
You've gone from being a top
That's
to a bottom.
What is Sir Audrey going to do? Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be silly. I'm gonna be silly today. I want to be like a tourist. Like I thought this was like Camelot, like Disneyland attraction, and now I'm sucked into the Fey world, and I'm just a tourist from like. And it turns out it was the real Camelot. Things got twisted and crossed, and yeah, I did just teleport here, and I have no idea.
Connecticut Yankee thing. You got pulled in by accident, and like you Rick and Morty'd your way into this.
Yeah, with the Fey world and like problems with time and whatnot, you could have just stepped into one place, like the Camelot version on Earth, and you ended up here.
I like to think you're like so touristy. You have like an original camera that you actually, not even a phone camera. You're like got a good old fashioned Canon that you spend way too much money for, but you don't know how to develop anything. So,
all right, James, any ideas for character?
I think I kind of want to be a jester.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
And I was actually like taken here by the plants because they want to use me as entertainment for their rule of their Camelot.
It's like the one human they like. So
it gets boring as a plant waiting for food to come to you. Makes sense. All right. So we are now in the story. We've established the scene. I'll deal ability cards. I'll go ahead and deal us 5 just in case we do want to play 4 rounds.
A handful of notes. The card hands are diminishing. You don't get 5 new cards. You don't draw up. This is your hand for the whole game. And if on a turn you decide that what you have in your hand isn't going to work, you can use the wild card rule, which is discard one of your cards and draw a random one from the pile to play that turn.
Our job now is whoever your target is, you're going to narrate what's happening to their character and put them into some kind of immediately life-threatening situation that they'll have to figure out how to survive.
Where the heck were you again, Aaron? Yeah,
we can do a quick recap, just so everybody, with your target in mind, make sure you're listening to your target's explanation. Recap, I was a gardener out near the stables, overcome by how much new gardening there is to do.
I'm the medieval botanist who's just here to take care of the plants.
I was a knight who was at a whorehouse when he should not have been. Just down the road from the actual castle itself, around the corner, at the feisty goat. And when everything went tits up.
His head in.
Yeah.
Did you say horse head or whore's head?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Well, because my friend, obviously, have you read the Robert Bevan books?
Yep.
He's a friend of mine, so yeah, that's the thing. It's like I would do Authors and Dragons with him, so yeah. That's why you said horse head. I'm like, good job.
Andrell, what were you doing?
Your mom?
Whoa! Little fuzz bumping going on right there.
I just stepped in.
No, that was on the horse head.
Camelot, and now I'm here. So I'm near an entry gate.
All right. And James?
I am a jester here to entertain all of the plants.
Where are you at physically in the location of Camelot? Are you in the castle?
I'm usually close to royalty.
So throne room area? Maybe?
Yeah, throne room adjacent.
So we normally let everybody kind of ponder what they're going to do, and when they're ready, they flip their target card upside down. All right, so Gibby.
All right, Andrell. What's your character's name, by the way? Oh, I should better when I get it.
Me.
What? What's that?
Just Andy. Doesn't matter. It's me.
All
It's
right.
fine.
So Andy from Tulsa, Oklahoma, got her big old camera out there. She got her Canon, and she was going to go see this here Camelot. She thought she was going to Vegas. She thought she was going to go see this the pretty Camelot, the Excalibur in Vegas. Next thing you know, boom, transported to she went to the back room by the roulette table. Bam! Now she's in this weird Feywild upside down Camelot bullshit. And at first you think, I'm not that impressed, until gravity flips you upside down, sends you careening bouncing off one tree, off another, into the gaping maw of a one of those giant carnivorous man-eating plants. So we'll start very simply. You are falling upside down. You don't know which way is up, and you're falling into a plant's open maw, camera in hand. So that is your current peril. We'll start simple.
Simple. Thankfully,
Simple.
it's a man-eating plant, and you have
Yeah,
boobs, so you're fine.
We would have a lot in common. If it just
Meat
wouldn't
eating,
eat
how
me,
about
we
that?
could sit down to tea.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, no, this is like, no, it's psychokinetic. You know, you hear it in your head, like, gonna eat you. Like Audrey 2 is coming at you, you know, so.
This is me, right? Well, Sir Gibby, you were just in the Horse End Inn getting railed by, railing a ferry. When
No. It's
Either or.
from the front and from behind, you know, I mean, equal
Okay.
opportunist.
All right. You were having a ferry reach around.
The old rusty trombone.
And then everything just spun and twisted. And not only did you
Do I
contract
pay extra?
syphilis, but you got fairy syphilis, which is incredibly aggressive and high speed and effective. So you're already starting to see like these sores develop. The lights are getting dimmer from just your eventual blindness that's coming. So this is like syphilis, but on like steroids, like 10 times the speed of how it would normally hit you, because it's
Only 10.
100
So-
times the speed.
Well, I mean, this is wild growth. We have the Feywild and plants, and this is a wild growth, bacterial, fungal syphilis of fairy make that is taking off. I assume it's starting wiener and working its way up.
It depends on where you had things inserted.
Or in,
Let's stick with wiener and see what goes from there. Thank you. Thank you very much for my peril, sir.
You enjoy that.
All right, James, you're got to imperil Scott.
All right. So, Scott, you were kind of just like tending to your garden out in the real world when from a tree, several tentacles have now wrapped around your legs and they are trying to aggressively drag you into said tree. And you gotta figure it out. Sorry, no syphilis.
Maybe next time.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right,
Depends on how Randy Sir Gibby gets.
So
James, you are doing an amazing job entertaining the plants who are unfortunately locked in place. And as is only appropriate, you're in the throne room, given only the most royal plants, the best show in the land. But as Camelot has been turned upside down by this strange juxtaposition of realities, the old king is actually plant grown into his throne above you. He was one of the first to fall to the plant overgrowth. So he was a giant of a king, like 400 pounds, almost never left his throne. And you hear a tearing in the vines that have been holding him up all this time. And the 300 to 400 pound king is about to topple directly upon you, squashing you, or crushing, or hurting quite badly. Squishing you fatally, something like that.
So, Aaron, as the whole world turns upside down and all this bushy stuff comes out and more trees and more gardening and more work, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what's happening? You're by the stables, and as the Fey world kind of flips over and juxtaposes and takes some of it on, and the gravity starts to shift a bit, and the stable is now above you, and all of the hay, manure, and horses are falling on top of you.
All right.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
A lot of overturned piles of grossness falling on people.
You're welcome.
All right, so now this is where you'll choose an ability to help explain how you're trying to survive. When using an ability is to keep us all on kind of the same level. There's a rule called the elephant rule. Whatever you do with your ability, it at most can affect up to an elephant's amount of stuff. So this keeps people from trying to summon down the moon as an asteroid, raise the entire ocean into the air and flood things. It's just kind of a general limitation, if applicable to the description of your card. Anything that your ability does to you or says about you is permanent. So if one of your abilities you use to turn yourself into a penguin to escape some kind of Antarctic threat, you're a penguin for the rest of the game until you do something to otherwise change that. However you describe yourself by the end of the round, that's how you are going into the next one. And keep it fresh, even if you might have innate abilities from previous cards. For example, if you turn yourself into a vampire, you can't use vampiric abilities to help you in the current round, even if you might be susceptible to some of the things that would kill them. You want to try to keep the focus on whatever the current ability is that you're playing.
New hotness.
And then finally, wild card. If you're not happy with your options, you can just grab one off the top of the deck, but you must play whatever it is you draw. Sorry, you have to discard one of your unused cards too to grab a new one. So your hands do still continue to shrink.
We're waiting on you, Ron.
Yeah.
How
This is
dare
So
you
much
moderate?
talky. So much talky.
Gosh.
I'm already on beer too, and
I
I haven't even
feel
really
like-
finished the first round.
There we go. All right. So, Gibby, go ahead.
Sir Audrey, the ribald, the Randy, spends a lot of time in the whorehouses. And you think fairy syphilis is new? I had that as a young lad. So, thanks to my amazing power of substance mimicry, the oils of my body begin to coagulate into penicillin, fighting off the the onset. This is really good penicillin. This is magically induced. This is Merlin himself gave me this ability, so it easily battles off the fairy herps. And I thank the lads and ladies for their time there. I leave this upside down room somehow, bouncing around, quaff down a nail, and go outside to see what the fuck is going on and why are all these plants around. So I'm outside of the whorehouse.
Every night
Free
gets
and
one boon,
free and
and that
clear.
was yours.
What's that?
Every night gets one boon from Merlin, and that was yours.
You can give
Every
yourself
one.
penicillin. That explains why you're a slut.
Yeah, magical penicillin. Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's chicken and the egg situation. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm up. So, I can release targeted chemicals from my pores and cause overwhelming physical or emotional reactions in living things. So here I am, this medieval botanist, and absolutely able to emanate plant pheromones at need. So you've tangled around my ankle, but what I know is you're just giving me a hug. So I've just made this plant fall very appreciatively in love with me, and it's no longer thinking, hey, this is a snack. It's thinking, this is a snack. So so this plant is rather in love with me and has no desire to eat me anymore because of these pheromones that I am putting out.
All right. James, what do you got?
All right, so, I'm a pretty damn good jester, and in Jester College, I did not skip any of my mime classes. So, as I hear the king about to fall, I look up and I do my best pantomiming of creating a net that will catch him and then slide him safely down to the plane that I am on in front of me so that he could still continue to watch me perform and enjoy all of my entertainment.
Would you mind pantomiming a net for me?
I would not.
You would not mind.
Oh, wait, no, I do mind. I'm sorry you're not in the room to see it. And
Yeah, I'm
It
doing it
was
below my
amazing.
waist.
Verily, go fuck yourself.
So convincing. All right.
but no, I 4.0 great in college, really great at what I do.
In Jester School.
So who are you to question the expert?
That's fair. All right. So I'm about to be covered by gravitational hay, poop, and horses. Luckily, though, I have a horde of... Oh, I didn't check the size of that. Raccoons. Yeah, raccoons. I'll just go with the raccoons. A horde of raccoons nature's trash disposals. And as things are about to befall me, just the raccoons are sweeping back and forth, jumping in the air, eating hay, eating poop, eating horses. It's just all being devoured in a wave above my head.
Did you feel yourself like digging your hole as you were saying that? I'm just curious.
No, this is foolproof. This is perfect.
Okay, got it.
I was hoping for goats, but things went kind of wrong.
Whoever's hovering their dot, I feel you. So that feels like an Andrel dot. So
Right.
speaking of,
Yeah, so I'm free falling into the mouth of one of these carnivorous plants. And so I am luckily a wall crawler. Not only can I stick to any surface, as a bonus, I can fire supersized webbing from bodily orifices. So I am going to fire webbing over the mouth of the plant, and also so 2 shots, one for its mouth and then one above that to create a net for me to like land in and bounce on, and then I can crawl my way along it to the wall. And
Smashing.
Great.
respect.
So the
Quite
next step,
the capability for a tourist.
so the next step is going to be for all of us
listen,
to.
I will not lose this camera. Do you know how much money I spent on this camera? No.
The lens cap is still on,
$17.
I will snap that back. That's what
her
the
world-
webbing's for.
Her world was the Marvel Universe. That's where she came from.
All right, so go down and grab a token.
So the next step will be to vote for who we think is least likely to survive.
Just hover down at the bottom
when-
until.
Okay,
token.
I get
When
it.
you know who you'd vote for, pick up a token
And where do we drop it?
On the person.
On the person's
on the player
name.
card,
Yeah.
like
Not
the
yet.
big one at the
Sorry.
top.
Yeah.
Least likely to survive.
Yeah, for whatever
Based
personal
on
reasons
their power,
you
their
think.
abilities, and how they explain their situation. Maybe you found a flaw in it. Maybe you just like, I don't buy that one, or it's just the weakest
Okay.
of the bunch. So
Yeah. And typically we do a 1 sentence recap, but I was pretty on this
Well-
one, so.
Yeah, so I was like, you guys are.
Do we need
Jump
to do a
in.
1 sentence recap?
Would anybody like the normal 1 sentence recap that we would do?
Sure.
This
Yeah,
does
okay.
tend to give people a chance to kind of clarify, refine, and do their best last sales pitch before the vote.
And then in the next round, we're going to have different targets and we continue
Yes.
their
Yeah.
scenario.
yes.
Yep. So that's why you got, another reason to pay attention to what's happening.
All right, so I use my power of substance mimicry to turn the oil glands on my body into magically created penicillin to fight off the fairy syphilis.
And my pheromones have made these plants rather fond of me. So instead of trying to eat me, they're trying to fondle me.
With my enhanced academic abilities in gesturing and miming, I essentially, from the perspective of the Plant King, floated him down just to be able to view me at a better perspective, and everyone's happier for it, I hear.
I summoned a horde of 1,000 raccoons to devour what was about to befall me as it tried to cover me up and bury me alive to death.
I used the power of wall crawling, spider webbing powers to snap the plant's mouth closed while also giving me a net to land on, so then I can crawl across and suction to the wall. All while
All
not
right.
losing my camera.
So once you know who you'd vote for, pick up a token, and I will call a countdown.
I got 4 held.
All right, 3, 2, 1, grab them.
Whoa.
All right. So at this point, I have to describe how, in
That's not
some
what I want.
way, my I was already sinking, man.
Whoever
All right.
voted for Scott, if you want to move it over just for the
Yeah.
funsies, just
No,
to make
you
a clean
can't vote for
sweep.
yourself. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to be somehow even worse now. So, the raccoons did the best job they could, but they just could not work. Hey, stop!
No, because that counts up at the end. Stop it.
We got it. We'll figure it out.
All right. So they did their best, but unfortunately, the hay, poop, and horses was falling way too quickly for them to eat it.
And 1,000 raccoons
enough.
suddenly appeared. Like,
So,
I think- Wait.
Somebody isn't acting on the raccoon, Aaron.
Can this scenario be called "Hey, Poop, and Horses"? Like I like that just
Yes.
as a summary.
we'll see how much worse things get by the end of it. So
That's the 6th wedding anniversary you give. Hey, Poop, and Horses. Anyways, go on.
So one of the horses that was about to crush me, enough raccoons hit it from the side where it toppled sideways, and it wasn't going to completely crush me, but it was landing butt first on my head. And as I am encapsulated up to the neck in horse, it falls on its feet, and I'm kind of stuck sideways as
Okay.
raccoons skitter all about me. That's the
So
worst
you're-
I could
Anything
come
your
up
head
So
with.
is
you're
up
slowly
a
dying
horse's
inside of a
butt?
horse's asshole. Like
Yeah,
the new
I am currently wedged in a
new
horse's butt.
You
new
took our
fetish
chance to give-
unlocked. All right.
Where's our
Because-
chance to give you peril?
What am I? Well, okay, then I pop my head out, and my eyes are full of whatever, like that
Manure.
It's
instant
called-
like
it's manure.
Manure.
I have like instantly like burning eyes, can't
Pink
see.
eye.
Pink
yeah,
eye.
yeah, horse.
I have like an alfalfa swirl in green.
Equestrian. Yeah.
There you go. Now you can imperil me at your whim.
All right.
So
Uh-huh.
I had shoulder deep in horse. I guess I need to edit that. Was shoulder deep in horse.
Quickly remedied so I did not die.
All right.
All right. So boop. Next round. Does everybody remember what their target was last doing?
Yes.
All right.
I think I'm ready
Lead
to
the
go.
charge.
Okay, so Andrel, you have narrowly avoided death, and you being the tourist that you are, you still think this is pretty awesome. And I've got to capture this so I can tell my friends and family and all this. So you whip out your fancy camera and start taking pictures with the flash on, which really pisses off the plants. They're not used to this large flashing whatever, and now you have this absolute attention focused of all the plants in the room, really skeeved out at the seizure that you're giving these poor psychokinetic plants that are slightly epileptic as well. So this flashing is not to their liking, and they're
Giving
coming
them
for
light
you.
with no food.
Yes.
No photosynthesis from it.
Yep. So they're going to take you out because you have irritated them with your flash Enos.
Could you add a little bit more how they're going to take her out?
Let's just say, since I liked it, they've unfurled and let out this, because they can't see from all the flashing, they can't see, so they've unfurled to let out a sort of like dandelion fluff level of plant that's coming at you that has little bitey teeth at the very end of it. So you have just like these floating fluffy dandelion teeth that are coming at you to try and eat away at your flesh. Is that more specific enough?
Yeah, I think that's.
Side note, have you read or watched The Girl with All the Gifts?
We're
I don't-
three, but
It's
a little off
It's a
topic.
zombie-esque thing that has something like what you just described.
Interesting. Well, no, I did that on my very own. I didn't plagiarize or nothing.
All right, James.
So these fairies that came around and gave you the sifts, they really
that was
enjoyed.
cured, by the way. Cured sifts. Thanks, my magics.
Well, they enjoyed it so much. Just the act of giving it to you, as one usually does.
Okay.
But they almost saw giving you the syphilis as a gift, and they are pretty upset with you that you have,
yeah.
kind of gave them the finger. And
Regifted, as you will.
Yeah.
so
I denied their
did
gift.
we establish
They
how
de-gifted.
many are part of this act? Is
That's
this
up to you
You're
to determine
about
at
to.
this point.
well?
I mean, they could have friends. Like, hey, did you hear what this? Did you hear what that guy did? He went
Well-
outside. Like, he left us behind.
It was basically Dory Alley at Upside Down Camelot's castle.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I don't know if everyone knows what that is. Don't Google it. But there were quite a few, and this is kind of their kink. So they're coming at you, full force, claws out, teeth bared, whatever.
So I got a
Not in
army
the fun
of
way.
Yeah.
fairy plant, fey hybrids coming down the alleyway trying to take me down because I dare regifted their gift of venereal disease.
Yes,
All right. I love it. Okay.
I know I'd be upset in their shoes. So
Wow. Okay. Mm.
they're
I mean,
I made that for you.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like, well, I mean, I paid them, so now I'm angry at them because it's like this was a contractual. I figured the contract.
that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a bonus. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. God, when you woo dangerous fey plants that happen to also be carnivorous, you should be braced for the consequences. They show their love quite forcefully, passionately, and internally. They are trying to breach all of your orifices and fill you up like a scarecrow.
Oh, okay. Breach all my orifices. Noted. Is it orify?
Or orifice, yeah. Orifoofs.
Sounds like an horrific way to die.
Andrea?
Yeah. Okay. So James, you successfully performed. You're doing amazing. You've appeased everyone. Unfortunately, though, now the non-royal plants are jealous and are upset, and they think, you know what? With all this topsy-turviness that's going on, now is the perfect time for the French Revolution a la plant style. Unfortunately, as one of the royal plants' favorites, you are also on the chopping block. So these plants that they're psychokinetic, they put themselves in these pots, not unlike those the Mario World
Chompers?
tube plant. Yeah, thank you. In their own little pot, so that they could pick up the pot and move it. So there is just a floating horde coming, just nomming, and they're gonna get. You're in the way. You're one of the favorites. You're
Delicious.
one of their targets. Yeah.
I already know what's happening.
All right, Gibby.
All right, Mr. Aaron, stable boy. What'd you say? What'd you establish yourself as?
The gardener, the royal gardener over.
All right, the royal
overwhelmed.
gardener. Okay, good,
Yeah.
but perfect. So, but you were in the stables at that time. But as a royal gardener, there are certain truisms about in this world that we know about, which is certain plants need more fertilizer than other plants. Vegetables, top of that list. You know, roses especially, but vegetables really need a lot of fertilizer. And currently, you are covered in a lot of fertilizer. There's a cracking sound. Psychokinetic powers rip the wall apart, and what's left of the horse goes flying out. And instead of a thousand of your little raccoons are like nom 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 nom, and there is a 35-foot tall, flailing, whippy vine arm head of broccoli with a maw on it that demands more fertilizer. And since you're literally covered in horse shit right now, you're being sucked in by its psychokinetic powers as its blade arms is like turning everything to a Ginsu. You're flying through an air of viscera and because they're just horse guts and raccoon bits everywhere. And you are now entering this broccoli Ginsu, and we all knew broccoli was going to kill us one day. It tastes terrible. The Lord made it bad on
Never
purpose.
trusted it.
And now it's going to kill you. So you're just by broccoli.
Wasn't broccoli part of your peril when we were in the like crystal caverns with the gravity manipulation? I feel like broccoli is familiar with that too.
So broccoli in combination with gravity is always at the heart of my demise.
Yeah, something like that. All right. So my peril, I don't even remember what's going on. Oh yeah, the plants are trying to like skull
Invade.
fuck me essentially. But thankfully I can speed up or slow down moving things. So these plants that are coming for me, I just essentially slow them down. And they were like going rather voraciously and towards my various openings, because that's where we're going with this.
I immediately thought of a different route after I said it. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
of all evil. So I just slowed everything down and said, "Excuse me, I know that I smell wonderful and you want to make sweet love to me, but I'm just going to step away because they are now super slow and I have plenty of time to get away from this, and excuse myself from the situation and go to a nice open field where there are no plants."
I used the word field and no plants, but keep going.
It's a barren field.
It's a rocky, craggy ground of pebbles. All right.
A gorgeous, stretching, lush, not
Desert
plants.
oasis. No,
I went to the
desert
pond, okay? I went to a pond.
All right, James.
Well, I wasn't always wanting to be a master of the entertainment arts. When I was younger, my first passion was espionage. And so while I've been performing for these plants, I had been communicating with some of them psychokinetically to also speak of my disdain for the king. I'm kind of being held there. So once I saw that they were ready for the French Revolution a la plant things in Upside Down Camelot, they knew I was there to join them in the fight. So I continued to take arms with them against the king.
Okay.
All right.
So you swap sides essentially.
Or
I was
he
never
on the-
really on the king's side.
Exactly.
Got
You are
it.
so you are using your spy skills to let them know that you've been with them the whole time.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Spy on
he
the
just
inside.
was with them the whole time.
Hmm.
All
You
right.
pull off your
It's
mask and
always
you're just like a rhododendron underneath, or
You can call me Rhoda.
Yeah,
Rhododendron.
All right, so I'm about to begin sued. Luckily, however, I formed a close bond with the implements of my trade. In Camelot times, what goes for technology is not the intricate electronics that we are used to nowadays, but it was simpler times back then. The technology of the days were like plows and wheat swipey doodads.
You mean a scythe?
Scythes, those things, yes.
A scythe of relief right here is coming.
And maybe like the peak of our development was a push mower with a gear where it actually did the little spinny things and cut grass easier. So I
Pulleys.
call to my nearby assortment of gardening tools to come rescue me with my technopathy.
I'm in it. That's cool.
Stop.
So I have a whole bunch of little piranha-y teeth thing, like when you blow on a dandelion and all the little seeds are growing everywhere except they've got mouths on them.
Hunger Games.
Yeah. So I can think with portals. I can create a pair of spatially linked portals on two flat surfaces. Luckily, since I'm crawling on a wall, I make a portal right in front of me on the one wall, and I make a portal all the way back at the gate, so that I can be right there to get out. Maybe if I step back through the gate, I'll go back into my. This vacation's been done. This is good. Okay, we're done. We're out.
She is literally playing Portal.
All right. As James was good enough to allow it, I am basically being assaulted by an army of whores. They did not the fairy plants the life did not care for me. They saying no thank you, please no thank you to your venereal diseases, and have decided to come around the alleyway outside of the brothel and beat the shit out of me. So I see this angry horde coming at my way. Fortunately, I carry way too many explosives. So when the young gentleman, the celestial from the Far East, came with these rockets and these fireworks and explained what these do, I got really excited by him. So I pop a couple out, light them on the side, and huck them down the alleyway. Blowing them all to shit. Also, it takes out part of the wall, the brothel next door. The blast kind of blasts me back a little bit, to be fair. But after I get back up, I've got armor. I was like, oh, that was rather inconvenient, and I'm sorry about the property damages. I'm sure my friend Arthur will take care of this. And I make my merry way onto the courtyard. I'm out into the where like the big fountain out in the courtyard. I'm like, oh, that's a very nice fountain. That's where I'm at. So after I escape with the use of high explosives.
I love how you name dropped Arthur there, like my friend Arthur.
I'm just saying. I know. I
okay.
mean, like, we went on a couple of crusades together. You know a guy. He owes me 25 shillings. So.
All right, so in preparation for vote, we will do.
I got a
quick
sword out
one-sentence
for him.
recap.
I told him it was him.
I feel like you should have led with that. I think you might have stolen a bit of your destiny there.
All right, so the horny plants that are going for my orifices are slowed down to great effect, and I'm simply able to walk away without being too concerned with them because they're too slow.
All right.
And as we as we established earlier, I can finish quickly.
Yes. So I had actually been communicating with these plants psychokinetically, and have been in on this whole uprising and let them know using my ex-spy espionage skills that I was in with them and I was here for their revolution.
Perfect. Using technopathy, I call upon the most advanced gardening and farming technology of the day to come and rescue me.
To escape the seedy dandelion fluff mouths coming at me, I create a pair of portals to get me out of where I'm at and put me back by the gate so I can get out of here.
Hookers go boom boom. Very simple. Hookers go boom boom.
All right.
Which was the name of the prostitute. Sorry, the brothel you went
They're
to.
they're not people.
Where you want to
they're
go
not all
tonight?
going to.
Let's go
Trust
to
me, they're
Hookers
all
Go
not
Boom Boom.
They're not getting degrees in marine biology. Trust me, they're not people. It's okay. Don't feel sad.
All right.
This is tough, actually. Shit.
Right?
Everybody's
Is
just doing
everybody
a terrible job.
actually
Yeah.
ready?
No, actually. Well, fuck it. Yeah, I got an idea. Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, drop. Oh, James, how did something go mildly wrong with your survival attempt?
And I guess my communication methods just weren't up to snuff. I did not speak the correct dialect of human plant hybrid language and was very much misinterpreted. And
Makes sense. Different planes of existence, maybe outdated codebook. All right.
so, knowing the king is very large, I'm at least trying to get towards him to almost use him as a shield.
So I figured since I saw you save the king, who may or may not have been human at one point, I'm not sure. But I think in this situation, maybe you just use the slur that plants use. Because like, hey, my plant word, and like, oh no, you don't get to use the plant word.
You're not one of us. You can't use that word. All right. Does everybody remember what their targets were last doing?
No, Aaron, what the fuck were you up to?
I had a whole bunch of medieval gardening and farming implements
Oh yeah,
to my aid, flying through the air and chopping the broccoli monster before he could Ginsu me.
Through a portal to escape the chompy, fluffy seed teeth. Mouth.
and then
I'm sorry, I stepped away. Yeah, I apologize. I had to step away. I closed my office door. Blew up the hookers, and now I'm looking at the wishing well in the front courtyard, just like, what a lovely day. Oh,
I just slowed everything down and walked away to a barren field.
I have an angry mob of plants charging at me and a very large and ineffective king plant. All right, Andrel, it was very, very it was a valiant effort with those portals, but unfortunately they don't work the way you thought they did in this upside down area. So, although you successfully created them and got away from the mob that is chasing you, the other portal just took you to the opposite side of them. And although they haven't noticed you quite yet, unfortunately, the opposite side of them happens to be in a dead-end alley.
So you're still under the imminent peril of these little dandelions.
Yeah, they're gonna turn around and find me at any moment.
They heard the pop.
And they have a very keen sense of smell.
All right, Gibby, you made it out in front of the town's, the castle's wishing well.
Yeah, right there, my foot up on it, looking at him as majestic as shit.
And as any good patron of the whoring arts is to do, you have just pockets full of pennies so that you can shower your
Yes, I
whores
make it
with
rain. It's a
pennies.
hailstorm of shillings. Take it, whores. Yeah.
Unfortunately, since things ended a bit early and tragically, you didn't have a chance to do your classic shower move, and they're still full up in your pockets. And one of the dwellers of the wishing well is a troll who, of course, loves when people throw pennies down the well, and it's been a while, and he smells pennies. So you see this weird, gangly, really like ropey, strong arm somehow like squeak its way out of the tiny well, and there's a gangly, gigantic thing works its way out, and he tries to grab a hold of you to get your pennies.
Now, is this a like like a wishing well, or is this a water fountain, or is this a
I was picturing like one of those like old school stone circle wells with like the bucket on the
I
reel
understand what
on
you're saying.
top
I
of
don't
it.
know if this is Camelot. Is this like a picture of Arthur pissing into the thing, or is this like a wish? Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll go with whatever you prefer. Because like also is this a troll thing or is this a plant troll hybrid thing that's coming out because they're just go with the plant motif?
I was thinking more standard like Fae, but we can say that as he lives in these parts and he communes with plants all the time, he's very mossy colored.
He's a mossy.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm with it. Cool. I just got to see it in my head. All right. We're cool. Yep.
You know, one of the
when
first
he comes
things,
out, the top of the well kind of comes up like a little bucket
Sure.
lid.
Not a problem.
and I'm very disappointed, Gibby. One of the first things we learn when we go to Canada is not to throw loonies at strippers.
I've never been to Canada.
Oh, now
So-
you know.
Or toonies.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really
but you
any
usually don't
denomination
strip strippers
that's-
$2. You're usually throwing dollars at them. So the loonies.
You don't throw them at them, you just slip them in the slot. That's all. Like a little coin purse.
Pick a slot on your slot.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of slots, Andrell, it's your turn now.
Don't worry, Scott. I
Yeah.
got you. So this field of
Timing.
rocks that you're in, that you think are rocks, turns out that one of the reasons that Aaron was gardening at the stables is because he is invested in making these plants look like things that aren't plants. So, surprise, these rocks are plants. They just look like rocks. So all of a sudden, these little rocks start like
Cake or rock?
yeah, exactly, cake or rock.
Or
It's a
plant.
plant. Yeah, cake or
Actually,
plant.
I'm
plant.
both.
Cake, plant, or rock? You know,
Yeah.
it's great cake.
Okay.
Kids love it.
All right.
So he's so these plants or these rocks, the rock plants have turn over like now that like they were turned over so that the sun they would get the photosynthesis during the day, but now that they smell meat, they flip to the other side and that's their mouths. So every one of them is coming to
Okay.
yeah.
And is this like are they everywhere? What
You're
sort
in
of
the
like,
rocky field, so
what's the
I'm gonna go with
spacing?
yeah. You went to a rocky outcrop, so it's literally like rock almost everywhere.
So they're like flipping over underfoot.
Yep, and
Like,
as they flip, and as they flip
Okay.
over, they can kind of push each other a little bit, so they can kind of get like one rock space, like towards you, and like. And they
So
flip
like a
and get closer
death
and closer.
deathly game of checkers coming at
Yeah.
you.
Fair enough. Sounds romantic.
How dare you, Aaron? What kind of gardener are you? You freak.
I thought the field was keeping good care of itself.
All right.
That's why there's no hunt in the game. You'll notice like there's no rabbits or anything.
That's why it's so desolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, at a certain point, I'm thinking this is just sexing you into like, oh no, the field's been plowed. I swear to God, I tended the garden. Just like, okay. Anyway, James, big king to one side, bunch of angry plants. You use the P word, use the plant word. I don't know what it happens to be, but it
Shrubbery?
didn't. Yeah, it's like. Who are you calling a shrubber? And it did not work. Okay, you tried and it didn't work. So they're all angry at you. But that's not the problem. I mean, yes, there's clearly plant people there with thorns and whips and teeth. Not the problem. None of that's the problem. These are magical psychokinetic plants. The problem is this big pod comes lumping in and they start pulling it in by these vine-like cables, and the pod opens up and you see the pod person inside, and it's the dean from your mime college, and he's got your original diploma in it, and it's soul bound because it's a magical realm, and he starts tearing your diploma in half, and it's literally ripping your soul in half. And once he completes this rip, you will not only no longer be a mime, you will no longer be a person.
All right. Let me check.
Since you
really
were working
quick.
with them the whole time. You're like,
Okay,
oh.
good. I
feel like Scott's hands is just full of research materials. Like, all
Yeah.
right, we got the book on Fae, got gardening implements of the medieval times.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because the gardening implements of medieval times were known for being particularly rusty, and as they're flying around, saving you from Brachiosaurus or Broxzilla or whatever you want to call him, you managed to get a few scratches from these guarding implements that are covered in rust. And as we've already established with syphilis, any sort of infliction is very accelerated in this world. So this tetanus that you have just contrived
Magical
is
tetanus.
already giving you lockjaw. It's already making your body stiffen up, because you have rusty scratches and at least a few exposed extremities from all the gardening implements that went around.
So this is like a whirlwind of techno-controlled things floating around.
Yeah,
if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. Okay,
It was like a
cool.
whirlwind of those trying to combat the Ginsu blades of the
I love it. All right,
Brachiosaurus.
But he managed to have a little bit of friendly fire incidental damage
Yeah.
that is giving him lockjaw.
I like it.
Yep, I know what I'm using now.
All right. Well, none of these are good. First wild card of the night.
So, before I reveal, we've already established that I'm really good at what I do. Like,
And
That's-
modest, too.
yes.
Yes, you get your accolades. You know.
And as the dean of my own college was tearing this diploma that he had in his hand, sitting there, tearing me apart, and I just put on the greatest performance I could of feeling torn in two. And he gets through that whole diploma, and then I get up from my fetal position that I have eventually gotten into. Because if there's anything I remember from being here in this upside down, is nothing here is real. I know that my real diploma is back in the real world, just on my wall in the castle.
Okay.
And they've all been distracted by my performance now. And when I stand up, I take out tons of weapons, and I just set ablaze to everyone.
I love the complete left turn this took. I'm like, where is he going with this? Oh, Rambo, got it.
Because, I mean, if there's
Decide-
anything I've learned being around the king and royalty and the military leaders of Camelot is how an army and a military operates. And I've picked up a few tricks along the way.
Just
So
like
what did you like machine gun, or you're like going full flamethrower to burn?
Flamethrower.
Oh, we're
right?
going flamethrowers,
napalm,
yeah, napalm. Yep.
mustard
So-
gas.
Just for clarification, you and the
Drones.
dean were faking the ripping of your diploma to fool the audience into...
No, the dean
false
thought
sense of
he was
security.
ripping up my diploma,
Hmm.
but he didn't have my diploma.
Okay.
Go with
Yeah,
it.
We'll see
Just
how this
go with it.
rolls. Yeah.
Yes, we will.
All right. I was attempting to shrug off super tetanus. Luckily, I am a barbarian. As my own gardening implements turn against me and begin cutting into me carelessly. What kind of warriors are these? This is not how I trained them for battle. I immediately go into a rage, roaring, screaming. The blood squirts out of all my wounds as my blood pressure raises, shooting all of the tetanus from my veins. And I just start thrashing and grabbing tools and crashing them into each other to break them.
There's always someone just drifting it right over there.
It's not how blood works.
That's how my blood works when I'm angry.
I
have
expel the bad
plenty
blood.
of
It's
it.
like this is for the Arthurian times. Yeah, you get the bad blood out. That's what the leeches are for. Or the barbarian rage. I just push the bad blood out.
Not all of
This
us
is
can afford
science.
the fancy leeches, so this is what I got.
That would be a great band name, by the way.
The
Fancy leeches? Or bad blood.
All right, who's
Uh,
next?
Bad blood and the fancy leeches. That seems like a good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a front girl. Her name is BB, but she goes go by bad blood. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Angel.
So I've got these floaty, fluffy seed things with teeth, and I'm at the back end of a dead end alley, and they're getting ready to turn around and come at me again. So I use this opportunity to overcharge. I can fill an object with unstable explosive energy that detonates violently upon impact, and I decide, you know what? This camera, not worth my life. I'm gonna overcharge my camera. And I'm going to
Not all the
throw it
loose
at them.
debris from the collapse.
Wait.
thing.
Didn't
No.
you just start off with, I am not letting anything happen to this camera? Wasn't that said earlier on in this event?
Desperate
It very much was. Yeah, it's desperate times. Yeah, the
She's
portal.
allowed to
Time.
change her mind. I mean,
The
you want
portal,
you,
the
you
portal
know.
didn't work right. I didn't get to the gate. I am now behind deadly creatures, and I'm just like, you know what? That's on me.
I've got
I
this.
should update to something that has cloud storage.
This is her growth story. This is her realizing that she doesn't need an Instagram story to have value.
No, I still do. I just need to have one with the cloud account. Yeah, no, it's just the cloud. Listen. I've been
Cloud.
hearing get on the cloud so much, and I just ignored it and been like, no, whatever. And then,
Yeah,
sorry.
no
enough
growth.
with these
Good thing-
fancy
no growth at all.
cameras.
Good
Back
thing
to
you
the
had a cloud
phone.
of murder seeds coming at you. So, and that's
Yeah.
asked for the wrong
but-
cloud.
But the best part about this is that all the rolls of film that I have yet to use in my camera, I'm just chucking each piece at it. Just
Again, you have
charge,
all this
blow,
debris
charge,
around you. You spent. All right, that's fine.
Says the man with pockets full of pennies.
there is no
And
debris
dynamite.
around me. I'm at
Arthur
the
gives me an
dead-
allowance. Don't take that from me.
It was a very clean alleyway. They keep things spotless.
There wasn't
I
even a
blew it
trash
up.
can
I
lid for
blew
me
that
to.
alley up. It's Hooker Alley.
Oh, is it the same alley?
If we're in the same alley, I thought I was in a different alley.
I thought that's what he did. I thought he said this alley is now closed. I thought he was building up on my story of blowing up the alleyway.
No,
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
But we
no.
could.
Well,
then
so
I'll shut
yeah-
the fuck up then.
Yeah,
Nope,
that
nope.
alley,
yeah.
the side of the alley was clearly caved in, and you could not escape. That makes total
Yeah.
sense.
So
Yeah,
there's not even
world
a trash
building.
can that I can take the lid and throw it. Nothing. Yeah, I couldn't carry a single ounce more.
People don't develop this anymore. This is stupid. This is last century. Yeah,
That's why
got
she got 1 cent per roll, like on some super bargain deal. Because
So essentially, you just blew up shit. That's how you got
Yep.
out of this.
Yeah, and I'm not really sad because I'm just hearing that Gibby has all these pennies, and I'm like, do you know how many more rolls I could have gotten?
shillings. Anyway, all right. So I have a fungal troll moss monster coming up out of the wishing well to smite me. I
Which is
believe that's
also how
what-
they described your syphilis earlier.
Mhm. Yes, it was a mossy green log that was bumpy and knobby,
Coming out of your
Anywho.
wishing well.
Yeah, that's right.
to smite you specifically.
So I'm standing there and like, well, this is inconvenient. This is not how Sir Audrey the Randy dies. I like, oh my God, what is that? And I look over to my side there and I see this stable gardener boy flying around to the sky like with blades of craziness around him, and it's rather. And he's raging, and it's very weird. And he's like, raw. And as he does that, one of the giant sickles flies off, attaching to more and more things from the latent technopathy. And next thing you know, I've got this massively huge sickle flying right at me, which I snatch out of the air. And thanks to my ability to use oversized weapons, this is quite convenient. I take
Enough
one
about
step
your
back.
penis.
And oh no, I pay them to tell me his face. I take a step back, swipe and lop this thing's head off, and then a few more times, stop, and I ginsu this thing and flops back into the water. I'm like, well, this is no, damn it, I need to find what else is going on. So I decided to march back into the castle and figure out, Arthur, what the hell is going on here? This makes no sense to me. So, yes.
All right. Makes sense.
We do have a new option for the title of Sir Gibby and his oversized weapon. Anyway.
So I just go with death by broccoli. I mean, this makes me.
Yes, death by broccoli. So, all right, remember I'm standing in the field of these, like, I'm picturing them as almost like snapping turtles. Like, on the back, there's the shell that you're saying looks like this rock. As they flip over, like, there's some sort of toothy maw. And I say snapping turtles as in, like, it's the shell on the bottom, but underneath, it's literally like this circle of teeth that's trying to, like, there's no safe place to step. So, at least not with my dainty little feet. My tiny little feet. But thankfully, I can summon a large creature, and no larger than an elephant. So we'll go with a rampaging rhino that is going to come to my aid, and I leap onto his back as we gallop out of this nasty spot. And thankfully, his big old rhino feet are larger than these individual rock things. So as he's rock plant hybrid edible things that are coming after me. So he just essentially tramples the fuck out of them as he runs off, and we're escaping this imminent peril.
Aaron, your plants that you
Name drop.
cultivated.
Yeah, that was one of the more self-sufficient gardens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so one, it's fine. I'll replant in the spring. Quick recap for in preparation of the vote, starting with James.
The diploma was never real because he couldn't get to my real one. And then I turned around and set them all ablaze.
Sensing my blood turn against me, as alongside my weapons, I go into a barbarian rage. My blood pressure rises, and my blood, along with the infected tetanus bits, fires out of my wounds as I
What could go
go to
wrong?
war.
I sacrifice my camera by to overcharge it and all the rolls of film that I have to destroy the mouthy seed things coming to devour me, the sky piranha.
Thanks to my mastery of oversized weapons, and fortunately, a giant oversized weapon literally landed in my hand thanks to Aaron's magical abilities to use modern day tools. A massive scythe landed and give me just the right weapon to dismember, disembowel, and disbody this troll moss lumpy thing coming out of the well.
And I simply shout, "Hi-oh, Rhino, away!" and off we go.
Nice. All right, when you know who you'd vote for, pick up a token.
I'm really torn because two people are equally dead to me.
Shots fired.
Yeah,
One more person has to pick up a token too.
yeah, I got my token.
All right.
All right, 3, 2, 1, drop 'em. What? How did that?
Where'd my token?
It
How did that happen?
disappeared. I don't know.
I slid it underneath.
Let's
Now
try
it's
that
moved
again.
and stuck.
All right, and somebody's ended up in the middle of nowhere. So were they going for Aaron or me?
As it was.
Dealer's choice.
I know I was
All
going for
right.
Aaron. I don't know if somebody else was.
So, before we get into what may have gone wrong with these, what happens at the end is that whoever has the least amount of votes gets to describe how the story ends overall, including whatever happens to his character, good or bad. But for the rest of us, in order from most votes down to least, we have to describe how something inevitably went terribly wrong for our characters and we meet an untimely end. So, as the grand champion of votes, I will go first. In my barbarian rage, while fighting with my my tools, who I believe have turned against me while they were simply trying to help, I'm cutting myself up even more. At some point, my blood pressure levels out and I calm down, but I'm still just covered in rusty wounds. There's horse poop still in my eyes that's kind of like dug
What's
in a
in the
bit.
wound?
And there's a lot of accelerated bad contagions kind of getting
There's
up in
there's
now.
like one big ball of MRSA. You know, it's just like, this is bad.
Yeah. So I kind of like a cauliflower. I kind of fall backwards and like inflate and swell up in different places and pass.
James, you're next.
I did survive the diploma ripping, and I did destroy all of my adversaries. What I didn't take into consideration was everything's kind of a plant and flammable in here. So I got trapped within a fiery throne room, and no one could hear my screams.
Or your jingly hat.
Your jingle bells.
Love the idea of hearing this gesture just jingling to
Ching,
death.
ching, ching, ching.
He has a mime too, so that, I mean, absence of screams, just trying to jingle as loudly as you can. Man. I'm sorry.
All right, so
That's-
as I am majestically riding on the back of my rhino, very proud of myself, thinking that I've escaped all this. Like, I'm having a Fabio moment, even though I am just a botanist, but I'm a botanist with long hair, and it's glistening, and I'm having a wonderful time, so proud. And then the rhinoceros stumbles. And because I am so self-involved and very proud of myself, that stumble manages to throw me from the rhino's back. And now, as I tumble backwards, Hans Gruber style, onto this pile of upturned mouthy rocks, you can see that will not end well for me.
Like a
Like a
wood
field-
chipper, but
Death by 1,000 bites, and that's what you predicted earlier.
I was picturing like a field of mouse traps all going off. Snap, snap,
Yeah.
snap, snap, snap.
Oh my god! And my legs and fingers and arms are just flying up in the air in little bits and pieces.
Perfect.
oh,
But wait,
oh.
And Andro.
Yeah, so while I managed to defeat the fluffy sky piranha seed teeth things coming at me, at the loss of my camera, I realized that what is the point of living if I can't have my photos for my Instagram? the gram is life, and I'm just so devastated that I decide, what's the point in even trying to escape? So as I'm just wandering around, lost in Camelot forever, and with all the carnivorous plants and nothing left to sacrifice. I just wander right into I, the plant army battle. There's a syphilitic horrors coming around. Like, I'm gonna take it all.
You're
Take
just
it
like
all.
you like slow walk towards the mayhem, just like
Like the Master and Commander scene with the guy walking through the ship as it's blowing up. That's me. I'm just like, this is the
you're
end.
accepting your fate. All
All
right,
right.
and Sir Gibbs a lot.
Speaking of taking it all, Sir Audrey, the Ribald, the Randy. Well, enough of this shit. He starts walking into the throne room. He's like, Arthur, there's some crazy shit going on there. And there's a kick open the door, and there's like, oh, there's a backdraft of heat. And there's flames in there, and it dies out. And there's like a dead jester and his burnt up jingle bells. And oh, Arthur, you got so fat. Oh, you let yourself go, my friend. Oh, poor Arthur. And I was like, I see the throne. I'm looking at it. It's not too bad. It's not too far away. I mean, it's upside down and weird. And that's when Morgana Le Fay herself, the queen fairy, the one who started all this, and she shows up, the one who like put the Fey realm on top of Camelot. She says, if you pleasure me, I will save everybody. And I said, let's get down to business. Unfortunately, because Sir Randy the Ribald pays the whores to tell him he's good, he's never been actually got good. You know, it is one of those things like how when you like pay people and you're rich and you pay people to tell you that you're nice. And after 6 pump chump, she is quite displeased, and then she ruins Camelot, and we're all dead. Thanks to my failing penis, I have unfortunately doomed all the nobles, all the peasants, everybody in Camelot is now a tree or pod person. It's like the worst parts of The Last of Us. They're all plant clicker men now, and it's really gross. So
That's ridiculous. 6 pumps, that's a new record. She's a mad woman.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the game. Thank you all for joining me for another incredible game of Imminent Peril. Just remember that no matter how perilous the world seems to get day by day, even if your kingdom is turned upside down and covered in Fey, at least you have your friends. And no matter what, everybody has the ability to be kind. Thank you.